Collins, because it is here. Another fantastic edition of the legendary Friday Nights of the Nerd-O-Roundtable. Let's get it in. Yeah! There it is. You know we love the applause. Yours truly, King Nerdificent Twala Sharp in the building, joined as always by Thomas Talking Cunningham. What it is, good sir?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another night.
Ryan Twitch Master McBain, how you feeling?
I'm feeling very hot.
Thank you.
That is a precursor indeed. Mo Kelly, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. It's going to be an ass kicking tonight because Ryan is wrong and I am right. So let's get down to business.
Before we get down to business, we are joined yet again by another fantastic nerd contributor. Mo Kelly, who do we have this evening?
Tonight, joining us from KFI as a news editor and co-host of the Bagel Report podcast, Aaron Ben Moshe.
Hello. What an epic way to say my name. I need you to say it everywhere I go.
I don't think your boyfriend would appreciate that.
Husband, it's okay. We'll talk about it later.
Close enough.
Wow.
Here we go.
Tell us about your nerd credentials.
Me, that's to me.
That is you.
Let's see. Well, my nerd stardom started in musical theater and then diverged into all the other ways, because you can't just be a theater kid. You have to be a Harry Potter nerd. You have to like Star Trek. You have to like, literally everything. And so then during the pandemic, I really, really, really fell into the rabbit hole of like the under level of Marvel superheroes, as opposed to like your Iron Mans and your Hulks and your Thors, everything that like the first 10 years of Marvel brought us. So it's definitely taken off in my many years of existence.
Nice. Mo told us that you have a thick skin, and I hope so, because the shit hits the fan on this here podcast, beginning with She-Hulk episode 3. In our nerd text thread, Mo Kelly proclaimed that She-Hulk is the best Marvel Cinematic Universe series by far. Ooh. To which Ryan put up 2 middle fingers and said, hell no. Mo, why do you say this?
It's real simple. I value series, especially on Disney Plus, in relative to continuity, their connection to the MCU. She-Hulk is directly connected to Shang-Chi. It's directly connected to The Incredible Hulk. It's directly connected to any number of movies. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. It is connected to a number of movies, more so than we've seen in any Disney Plus series. It is light. It is funny. It is full of Easter eggs. It is simple. And it's giving us what previous shows have not given us. This is a consequential Disney Plus TV show in the way that the previous ones have not been in terms of forwarding the MCU. Thank you very much. Good night.
I will stop you when you tell a lie. Ryan, you took offense to this. Why?
Okay, first of all, I like the show. I like all the Disney Plus shows. But we're 3 episodes into She-Hulk. Dial it back a little bit. Dial it back. Can we at least wait for the show to be over until we say, oh my God, this is the greatest Disney Plus show ever? No, okay? Stop it. First of all, I know it's not an issue for some people, but it's an issue for me. The CGI is straight trash. It is bad. And it is continually getting worse. It's to the point now where I'm like, Disney, are you even trying? Are you even like trying to like have good CGI? Now it is now the show is funny. It makes me laugh, makes me giggle. But come on, the show is like what? I think it's 9 episodes, and that's because each episode is like 25 to 30 minutes. I see ads on YouTube longer than some of these episodes. It needs to be longer, okay?
Hater.
And just because something is connected to different movies doesn't make it the best show. And also, we're 3 episodes in. Dial it back. Calm down just a little bit.
Yeah,
because
I don't know, Ryan. I don't know.
It's 3 episodes in. You're already
Ryan,
saying like, oh, it's the greatest show ever.
Here's
that
the
makes
thing,
no
Ryan.
sense.
Here's the thing.
No. I will have my time.
No.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Look,
He's reclaiming
okay,
his time.
I mean, you've gone on longer than everybody else so far,
That's
which is
not
not
that
something
long.
you
Longer
hear.
than an
Which is
episode
not
of
something that
She-Hulk.
you hear very often, I'm sure.
That's a goddamn lie.
you have gone on longer than an episode of She-Hulk. I think Mo saying that it's the best show by far is based on the fact that in 3 episodes, this show has proven to be more entertaining and more consequential than any of the other shows throughout their full run.
It's giving him something that he wants more than anything. But to me, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is still the best Disney Plus show. That's just my opinion. But I'm not going to bash She-Hulk. Only thing I can say that's really bad about it is the CGI and the episodes are too short. But I repeat, I will not say it's the best Disney Plus show ever after 3 episodes, because we all know how bad a show called Hawkeye ended. Because everything was jamming until the last episode, and we were like, oh my God.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay.
Mo, go to hell.
Aaron, I am saving you as best for last for a reason.
Well, wait
Tom?
a minute now. If I don't mind Aaron going next, because right now she has been champing at the bit, and she both agreed and disagreed with Ryan. So I definitely want to hear what she has to say.
And I saw that. That's why I'm like, I wanted to get your point out the way, Tom, because the excitement on Aaron's face is palpable. You can feel it. I'm like, oh, we got to hear all of this.
No, take it.
Okay, Aaron, the floor is yours.
All right. So, all right. I have some things. I have thoughts to everything that's been said. Wow, the best show in the Disney Plus. Are you what? All right. We'll put that up there. All right. Okay. I do love that it is a show that makes fun of literally everything Disney has been building for decades. I think we need a show that makes fun of itself. The comic book breaks the fourth wall and makes fun of itself. So it's only fair that happens to the show. And do we like funny women? Yes, we do. And do we like that it's short and sweet? Because not everything needs to be so heavy and so like in the multiverse and how is this going to connect to every single movie? Yeah, that's great. But like, is it the best? I think it's like my least favorite thing we've seen so far in the MCU.
Cut her mic off! Cut her mic off!
Oh shit.
Thank you.
Damn.
It's been so great being here. See you guys later. It's been a great time.
Okay,
Aaron,
so
talk about throwing a gauntlet down. Real quick before you go,
Roses
Tom.
at her.
Welcome,
Throw
Dr.
roses at her.
Liz. Welcome, Dr. Liz. Nice to have you
everyone.
with us. Hey.
Hey, Liz.
Okay, you came right in when it's going down. Tom,
Yeah, man.
What were
Okay.
you about to say?
Shame!
so
Shame!
yeah, I will say this. One of the ways that Mo's very comprehensive support of this series rings true for me is that it is probably, in my opinion, the show so far that most closely aligns with its comic book counterpart.
Yeah.
You have the comic books, not when she was first introduced as, with the torn dress, kind of just angry big woman, but when, around the time John Byrne got his hooks into it and really started to kind of create her, and she was willing to explore kind of the ridiculousness. She was kind of like a Deadpool sort of character in terms of the fourth wall breaking and just the absolute ludicrous nature of the adventures. She literally had a character named Dr. Bong instead of Dr. Doom, who used to hit the bell that was his head that created different magical effects. And so, to the extent that this is a show that I think very strongly knows, and I think Tatiana being cast as the character is a brilliant choice, because she is wearing both her feminism but also her fun side. I didn't really appreciate Titania, because I guess I thought if Jamila Jamil was going to be in the show, Jamila Jamil was going to be like her road dog, and we haven't even seen her since the last 45 seconds of the first show. But I have found I thought this last episode's fourth wall break was absolutely amazing. I thought it was the best fourth wall break of the series to date. The very fact that we're finding out some of the things we're finding out about Emil Blonski, which they took in an entirely different direction. I love that he has a pen pal sex cult and he's going to move to Wisconsin
Right.
wherever, and green energy and all of that stuff. I love that Wong made an appearance and Wong's appearance was hilarious. I love how the parole board freaked entirely the fuck out when Abomination abominated. And I love that they had a subplot with a magical light elf who turned into Megan Thee Stallion. I thought that all of that worked.
Don't laugh, Ryan.
Yeah, no, you're
making a
not
point.
entitled to laugh, you bastard.
I like
So
it. I like that part.
so I will just say that in the way that we were all wondering how Moon Knight was going to incorporate the third personality that we didn't see until the very, very end, and we each of us, I think, had our own little challenges with Moon Knight. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, to me, I get what they were trying to do. I could not get past the soft chin and distracting features of Cucked America, and then I didn't find the little Carly girl, the redheaded super
Black
soldier
Ash.
girl. Yeah, I didn't find her to be super compelling, and I thought the whole thing of Sharon Carter being the power broker was an interesting twist, but it didn't completely work for me. What absolutely 125,000% worked for me was the appearance of the Dora Milaje in that series. That was
Hell yeah.
among the best things that I have seen. When she clacked his arm off with those touch point presses, I was like, yes, you are that one. Yes,
And
you
when
are.
he touched her, and we all knew he fucked up when he put hands on her.
Oh yeah. Okay. So best is, I think everybody is entitled to their opinion, of course. And so if I were to say, has She-Hulk made a misstep that kind of took me out of the comic book origins? For me, yes, with the Wrecking Crew. I was not happy with the Wrecking Crew. I just was not. And that didn't destroy the episode for me. I don't know that I think it is the very best. I liked a lot of what WandaVision was trying to do, even though it really wasn't. It wasn't an exact translation, and there were some challenges with the end of it. But I am enjoying it. I definitely am enjoying it more than Hawkeye, although Hawkeye had a lot going for it. But I think it kind of fell apart at the end. So I'm enjoying Loki. I think probably has did not disappoint really at any point, and we got the fabulous Jonathan Majors as Kang. So
Nostradamus.
He's Nostradamus.
Yes,
and I think
That's
am I
tough.
crazy, or is we're going to see a second season of Loki before we see a second season of any of the other shows?
Yeah, I think Loki's
Yeah.
going to be
Right?
very, very important.
Loki's-
to the
Loki-
whole
Yeah, no,
Loki
Loki's
series.
critical.
wrapping
Yeah,
it up.
Loki's
Yeah.
critical. Or of course, What If. So I thought What If suffered from having a couple of real phoned-in episodes, but it was nice to hear Chadwick Boseman doing T'Challa one more time. And so I appreciate She-Hulk as a person who read the John Byrne run of the comics, and as a person who really appreciated the lunacy that is a hallmark of She-Hulk. I think Tatiana is great. I think that her prick boss is really good. I think the douchebag former colleague was great.
Yeah,
He's
Um,
great. He's great.
Yeah, he's super. And I mean,
Stop laughing, Ryan.
I got to
I
see.
said I like the show.
Okay, but what I will say, her walking was horrible.
Oh God.
Okay,
That
now, okay,
that
look.
7-foot green woman in that
okay.
pantsuit looked like a Fortnite
Look,
character.
the-
That
I'm
was
glad you-
fucked up.
thing
The
about-
face
thing
wasn't
about
bad, but
She-Hulk.
yeah.
No, look,
Get 'em,
here's the
Koala.
thing that She-Hulk and anyone watching She-Hulk needs to understand. We knew from the very first trailer that the CGI was going to be trash. Anyone that went into this series after seeing the first trailer, which actually never got better, even though they tried to touch it up, the shit still looked trashy. That is going to have to be a part of this show.
but
That's
it's
got to
gotten-
be something that you got to
Okay.
get over.
No,
For me, when
no,
when
Why?
she is walking out of the prison and Mo's friend, the newscaster, asks her, "Is it true that you gained your powers because of a failed mafia hit?" When you drop that in, because that's the actual
That's the actual
of she-
origin.
when you
No,
drop
I
that
get it.
That shit is brilliant. And when I say best, what I'm talking about is every single MCU series from WandaVision, which will everyone on the roundtable in the end was pissed off, but then you get Falcon and Winter Soldier. Okay, good, we're going somewhere. Then you get Loki. Oh, we're going somewhere else. We get What If. Every single series gets better and better by way of the writing, by way of expanding the story, by way of taking us in a different direction every single time. How are you giving us one genre of film, superhero film and superhero content, but each and every one is different? Each and every one has its own identity. That is what makes She-Hulk so good, because they are striving to go above and beyond the norm of a superhero series. This shit has almost nothing to do with being a superhero. This is real adulting that you're seeing thrown into this hilarious situation that you can almost really relate to. No one can relate to really most any of the other characters. This is the one that I'm talking, when I say relate, I'm not talking, we all can relate to, Falcon's story. There are certain touch points, but I'm talking everyday life, getting up, going to work, living. I mean, this show is phenomenal. Liz, what were your thoughts on the series?
I'm still trying to get over, why does the CGI have to be so bad?
Thank you.
It's because Disney are slave drivers right now, and they don't know how to give their damn
it looks like a
digital
PlayStation
graphic
3
artists
game.
a break.
When you create your own character and your own character's in the game, you're like, yo, this don't look right. That's what it looks like.
But you know what? No one from Disney or even from the series has ever done. None of them have come out to defend the CGI, have they? To me, that says that they recognize. Look, no one is trying to come out and change it. They're just saying, look, you're gonna get this CGI. You're gonna get exactly what we're giving you.
We got bad CGI, yes.
I'm just wondering as to why it has to be so bad. And part of it is that we do have an expectation that this is supposed to be better. And so it when it comes to just the overall package. And so I think that is a bit of a bummer, and I can see where that can take people out. I do like the writing. I do think that it was pleasant. And I'm going to be unpopular opinion. I didn't need Megan Thee Stallion. And I really was kind of annoyed that even the last thing where they're twerking, I was just like, really though?
You're wrong, Liz.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just saying I didn't need it. No,
I'm sorry. Look, I'm sorry, ladies, but that gigantic woman twerking made me cry laughing.
The show gives something to everybody because if that twerking was a Michael B. Jordan, Liz would have been like, oh, it's getting hot in here. Oh, Michael B. Jordan.
That is true.
Michael B. Jordan is an actual character, and Megan Thee Stallion is this throwaway that you just put there because it could be Cardi. Like it could be just any random.
But apparently Tatiana wanted Megan, and Tatiana, because she's a fan, and so she was thrilled that Megan agreed to come on the show. Now, I will say this: I don't know what comic book character Megan Thee Stallion could have portrayed, but I appreciate. Jesus Christ. But what I will say is that the whole Megan Thee Stallion plot thread gave me more of the Blonski or whatever his character is, and how delusional and twisted and stupid and ignorant he was. Mm-hmm. And so just the fact that they used Megan as the foil for that, and that she ended up showing up in the courtroom, and we didn't get, well, which one's Megan? No, I'm Megan. No, I'm Megan. I'm so glad we didn't get the Spider-Man pointing thing, which it could have very easily devolved into. So I appreciated the fact, and I think it's a part of Megan being a female iconic performer who is embracing her feminine. Yes, oh, absolutely, she is. Yeah, for this generation. Yeah. What I am saying is that Megan Thee Stallion absolutely represents the ownership of female power in the same way that Lizzo does, in the same way that Beyonce does. She is out there, and she is representing for an entire generation of young women, for good or ill, she is a very strong representation that is resonating in culture right now. And it struck me as reminiscent of those cameos that we got on Batman in the 60s, where like Sammy Davis Jr. would just lean out the window when they're climbing up the building. And it was that sort of pop culture moment. And instead of it just being a cameo like that, they found a way to incorporate her into the script and make the writing actually all the funnier for it. Because when Jennifer gets on the stand and talks about how delusional and fucked up that guy was, I was in tears. It was absolutely hilarious. And when he was done, he was like, I mean, facts. It do be facts.
I'll stop you when you lie. I'll stop you when you tell a lie.
It's just
now, Aaron. I was shocked at your take on She-Hulk. If you think that Mo's calling this the best MCU series thus far is flat out wrong, what to you then is the best?
I don't know. I mean, that's not true. I kind of have a few favorites right now, but I also will say Megan Thee Stallion being in this show also shows that liking superheroes is no longer like an underdog thing. It is so mainstream that even she is so here for it. And like there were stories that she was so excited to be a part of the MCU without having to be a superhero in the MCU. She could just be herself, which I think is very cool. I loved WandaVision. I also loved Loki just because it felt so fresh. It felt like something I hadn't seen before from the MCU, and it was really exciting to see the shows decide to have different directors and different styles of showing things. I also really loved Ms. Marvel. I don't know if you guys talked about that at all, but I was really impressed with it, and the way that they made a coming of age story feel really universal, and also Muslim representation, Islam representation in a way that's not scary or super stereotypical. And like sometimes it was a little preachy and on the nose, and I know they didn't get everything perfect, but it was really nice to see again a really mainstream, really powerful brand embrace this side of a comic book story. So I really love those three. Those are my favorites. I'm not sure they're the best, but they're my favorites.
Okay.
And that CGI on Miss Marvel was pretty decent. There was an expectation that it was going to be bad. It's better than She-Hulk.
Of her powers.
My question is, why do they pick and choose? Why is it that sometimes... Why is it that like, and I don't mean to like make it about like a gender thing, but sometimes I feel like it always falls short on the female superheroes. That like Captain Marvel sucked, in my opinion. It was such a letdown. Like in certain way, it's fine. You can hate me. Go ahead. But like,
no.
I'm the only one who
worst
disagrees.
of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
All the fellas
pretty
agree
bad.
with you.
I think the character is phenomenal. I think they just didn't know what to do with her, and at the last minute, she got the short end of the stick. And then there are times where I just noticed that, like, when you get I mean, look how long it took to get Black Widow, right? Like, it just feels that when we have these moments and we have the budget to do it right, we don't have anything left over for these superheroes that are also women and also have a story to tell. And then sometimes we just are like, wop, wop, we get a green Shrek woman. Great. Do it.
The only difference, I mean, the only pushback on that would be that the only issue with Black Widow is the time at which it came out, and at a certain point in time, they couldn't keep pushing that film back. But that film, had it been released like all the others on the big screen, that film would have slayed. And it did do extremely well for the limited range in how it was put out. But there was absolutely nothing wrong with Black Widow. Black Widow was a stellar film.
Okay, no, Ryan. Before Ryan even says anything about it being Taskmaster being a woman,
I know that's Ryan's issue.
Dude, I like Black Widow. Just like,
I know your Taskmaster.
I thought Black Widow was a good film. Yeah. I thought it was good. I mean, I'm not gonna. You know how I feel.
I would have loved to have seen that on the big screen. I saw
it in theaters too. I did. It was.
It was a short window. It was like right when things opened up again, and then very quickly after it closed.
It was on Disney Plus and also in the theater at the same time.
Yeah, it debuted.
I like Black Widow. And you guys already know how I feel about Taskmaster. I won't get into it. But dude, I like Black Widow, so don't attack me. Fuck.
Nah, man. Look, Ryan. I'm
the
on my
movie, goddammit,
because you came in fighting. I thought you was ready to fight today. I'm sorry.
I just rolled my eyes. I rolled my eyes. I'm gonna call some bullshit. If I see some bullshit, I'm gonna call it out.
One thing that I'm curious to know, and a lot of people are wondering, is She-Hulk just a situational comedy mixed with a courtroom drama, or is She-Hulk going somewhere with all of the Easter eggs and all of the plot threads and ties back to the original Incredible Hulk, the Ed Norton Incredible Hulk film, not the Eric Bana will not be named
Bana.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Twala.
One thing that I'm seeing this film, and there's a lot of things that people are just glossing over and they're missing about this story, and threads that are being put out there. The Wrecking Crew, yes, they were a joke, but the Wrecking Crew routinely got their ass handed to them in the comic books. There was never a point in time where the Wrecking Crew actually came through and did some shit that was worthy of being real A-list villains. They were always, damn near just above D-list villains that were always hired by somebody, and then being hired by yet someone again in this series to go and try to get her blood. I think that was the thing that was missed in the whole attack by the Wrecking Crew. They weren't there just to challenge She-Hulk. They were there specifically to get their blood, and a lot of threads that are out there and a lot of folks who are in line with what I'm thinking is that Samuel Stearns, aka the leader, will make a return to this because this series ties closely to the Incredible Hulk. And the last time we saw him, he was fiending for some more of the formula that he got. His head was swelling. He is the leader, someone who always coveted the Hulk's power. I'm thinking that the blood that they were after ties to the leader making a return in this, and this tying into so many other things. They're talking about Red Hulk will make an appearance in Captain America 4. It could be, whoever is going to embody the Red Hulk. We know that William Hurt has passed, unfortunately. So yes, you could have just a CGI Red Hulk on the big screen who's used her blood. But where are you guys seeing this series go?
Thank you, Liz. We know that there's a Daredevil, which is a Spider-Man No Way Home explicit tie-in.
Right.
Elizabeth, Liz, get there.
I don't understand where Daredevil fits in.
Probably some court case.
Is supposed to show.
Probably some court case. I'm guessing. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Daredevil. No, I'm not. I'm just saying. Daredevil doesn't leave New York, so somehow this has got to make its way from L.A. to New York.
Well, I don't. Now that Abomination is out, I think, and we've presumed that he is not going to ever abominate again, but I am not at all convinced of that. So just like Wong snuck him out of the cell and he abominated for the cage fight, I think that he is going to have a rampage again, and maybe there's a manhunt, and maybe, like I suggested before, that the people who were injured by the Abomination's rampage are in a lawsuit. They've been waiting to be able to get their hooks into him, and that is what could be the bridge that brings Jennifer, because Jennifer is still technically his lawyer, in conflict with whatever
Matt
Daredevil's
Murdock,
real name, Matt Murdock's name.
So Tom,
We still don't know why he broke him out either. We still don't know why Wong did that.
Wong said he said what he said what it was, but I don't know that we're supposed to believe anything more than that because it didn't happen multiple times. Wong was trying to improve his Sorcerer Supreme game. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And in this show where they're wearing everything so nakedly on their sleeves, I don't know why it would have to be any more complex than that.
So you were going to allow him to stay in refuge in order to be a better Supreme?
Well, he could continue to battle him if he stayed in refuge.
Well, no, not only that, he could have said after he broke him out and he did that solid form, he said afterwards, I offered him sanctuary. I broke him out. We went to go fight in the Kumite. When he said that, I laughed out loud. I was like, have anyone ever heard of Kumite? I'm on the fucking floor with that. But he said afterwards, I offered him refuge in Comitage, but he said, no, I want to go back. So it's kind of like he explained it. And even when they said, excuse me, Mr. Wong, you committed a felony and this, and he was like, peace. I'm not here for that. So,
Right.
I'm thinking that, Tom, to your point, that the criminal case against Abomination may be over. He's out on parole, but the civil suit can now begin.
These episodes are so short.
Thank
I
you.
just find that that's a lot of story that you're trying to put in what, a 20-minute episode?
It could be
Yeah.
one episode. It could be the next episode.
Well,
Okay, look, short episodes on television. I get that streaming has really ruined us as far as what our expectations are on the length of a series. Like, we're expecting everything to be 45 minutes to an hour long because streaming has done that. That is one of the, because if you remember, most
Give
of
me at
us,
least
everyone
35
on this
minutes
panel grew up
to
on
wallow.
watching television on NBC, CBS, or whatever, where every
22
episode was
minutes.
30 minutes until you had
Give
the
me-
hour-long
22.
shows that came on at 10.
Give me at least
So-
35 minutes.
But also,
And
as
then-
they get more complex, like WandaVision, I think the pilot episode was like 26 minutes, and then by the end they were hour long. So I think as they became more in depth, like as you got into the story, they did get longer. Although I hope that this show does stay kind of like the superhero Law and Order, only because I think Marvel just needs one show that just can stay grounded, that doesn't have to lead to something else,
Look,
that doesn't
look.
have to go somewhere else. Like,
it doesn't.
But
Yeah, I agree.
She-Hulk is supposed to only stay these short little miniature episodes.
It doesn't
Which would
take
be
itself
good. I don't
seriously. I like the fact that it kind of reminds me of Ally McBeal. I like the goofiness of it. And I tell you this, the part that made me laugh the most is at the very end when the wrecking crew is trying like to snatch her up, and she's like screaming. She's like, "Oh wait, I'm a
Wait.
She-Hulk."
Mm-hmm.
Right.
or they were like,
That was
what?
fucking funny.
They were like, wait, did you steal
Stop
that
making our
from like
points, Ryan.
an Asgardian? Like, who would you steal
Right,
that
like,
from?
you know,
Like,
did you
it's
guys
great.
rob an Asgardian? And they're like, yeah, we did. To me, like, silly on the nose stuff like that,
Yeah.
I'm there for it. I'm
Yeah.
there for even, again, to me, you go back and you watch the reporters and how they're telling the story. Aaron, Mo, we work in news. When you see how they're clowning news outlets, when you
Yeah.
see her walk out of the building, you got the one rumor reporter saying, "Is it true that you and Abomination have a baby?" And then the real news reporter turns around, "Breaking news," and it's like she's going with the story that she literally just heard. That, to me, that is so brilliant with where we are right now in the news and how stories get a life of their own before you've even, sometimes, everyone wants to be first on the story instead of being right. It's stuff like that, to me, is so important for a show that's like this, for what they're doing. And again, the breaking of the fourth wall, the fact that this show doesn't take itself seriously, maybe why the CGI, as much as that shit looks like The Sims, I don't care. I'm like, you know what? Fine.
I care.
This is not what you guys are there for. Conversely, another show that debuted last night, it's out everywhere right now, where they spent some $780 million
It looks like it.
to
It
make
looks like it.
sure that it looks like the movies. The Rings of Power, the Lord of the Rings series, is one of the most stellar series to watch. That shit
Really?
is just beautiful. I
It
wish
looks
it was on the
just
big
like
screen.
Lord of the Rings.
So
Oh,
you're
man,
saying,
it is gorgeous.
wait, so you're saying,
And-
follow that the CGI is
1
good?
hour.
No,
Is it-
it's not even the CGI. It's because the show isn't relying on CGI right now. It's just the sets, the magic, everything that they're
The
bringing to the
details.
small screen. Shit is worthy of it. This should be a feature film. It's absolutely gorgeous to look at. They've spared no expense to make sure that they're staying in the realm of the Lord of the Rings instead of trying to make it look like something from the CW where you're like, but that's like the woods in Altadena. What are you guys doing? This isn't, Mordor anymore.
Yeah.
Am I the
that's
only one
fair.
that's watched this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
No,
no.
I have not watched it yet.
I haven't
I'm
seen it
watching
yet. It sounds to me like what you're saying is that it's enjoying the $700 million.
They
Look.
are.
Because Game of Dragons did not spend $700 million on casting or set design
And they're
or
changing. They're
wigs
changing the cast,
or,
right? Did you hear they're changing the
For
cast?
Game of
to
Thrones?
what?
They're
Yeah.
because they're speeding up even faster, so they're going to be changing the cast and the cut in like 2 episodes.
Oh wait, so they're jumping like 25 years in advance or something
So
like
they're
that?
gonna be-
Who
So
do
does
they
that
think
mean
they are? The Crown? Why?
does
What?
that mean
Oh.
Brother Man is dead now?
I don't know, but I know that the main character, the little girl,
Yeah, the little girl Rhaenyra,
She's now
she's
gonna
got to
be-
be
she's going to be
grown. Well, as long as they get somebody whose teeth aren't like popping out the screen,
fucked up.
I'm sorry.
Hey, man,
Listen, I don't
feel
need
you.
3D glasses, and I'm just protecting my corneas whenever she comes on screen because I don't want to.
So they're going to have a season 2, right?
Yeah,
oh
Party Greenlit.
Jesus, yeah, of
Party
course.
Greenlit.
thank goodness.
But wait, why do you need a season, another season, just to tell more of what we've already seen? It comes to an end.
Okay,
What's happening? Why
Tawala,
do
you
need
got to
another
realize that
season?
this is very far in the future. Like, so for the first episode, it lets you know that this is
172.
extremely far in the future. There's a lot of story you can tell before we even get to Game of Thrones.
Well, but they said I thought
guess.
they said in the opening crawl that Daenerys was the
prequel, isn't it?
granddaughter. This is the
It
prequel.
was like 200 years before.
Not yet. Not
Before.
in the future, Liz, in the past.
172
It's in the
years.
past.
Yeah, 172
So-
years prior.
In the past. But I thought they were saying that I thought they said in the title crawl that Daenerys was the great granddaughter or the granddaughter of the whack ass king.
Yes, the Mad King.
No. I'm talking about Viserys. This whack ass bullshit, wife killing, couldn't make a boy baby. It's like all you got to do is, well, I won't get into position.
And the fact that
but
they were
there are
about to
things you can
marry-
do to get a boy.
And you know the thing that you're supposed to, and he was supposed to marry the 13-year-old.
I ain't
No,
touching
this
that
is
one.
why-
Oh, you're talking about the brother.
She
yeah,
was
see,
9, or was she
you know
9
all.
or 10? And then eventually
good.
she wasn't going to
Nah,
have
we can
sex with
skip all
him until
that.
they got to 13.
No, we can skip
Nope.
that. I mean, no, I'm good on
Why
that.
do
Nope.
we need stories like that? Like, I'm tired of
Motherfuckers
stories
are
like
sick, that's why. All this damn incest, people are nasty.
Like, I get it. I get the medieval. I think the medieval period is interesting. The dragons, the lore is interesting. But why do we have to keep repeating the stuff that we really don't
It's
need to bring
gross.
into this time? I don't like the mystery,
It's-
like the vile gore
Look,
and
the gore's
mistreat
fine.
the
Just the
people.
incest is disgusting. If I ever do,
yeah.
you'll be able to tell if I ever do a show because it'll be girls in pigtails. That's what you'll be able to tell them.
Ryan,
Thank you,
you said too
Ryan.
much.
He
Ryan,
needs
Right.
to,
you said too much.
But that's
You're-
normal.
That
Oh,
joke.
Ryan,
so
Ryan,
incest
you're
is fine.
you're
Oh,
Chris
right.
You're Chris rocking yourself right now.
Oh, okay.
Joke.
So no, you're
Flat.
right. Incest is fine, and marrying a 9-year-old, that's good. But pigtails, oh my god.
Look, I'm not saying it's fine. I'm just
For
telling
me,
you what's
oh my
happened
God,
in the
look at these
Right,
story.
right.
Yeah, she's
Ryan.
giving color. She's giving color.
Right. Everything about anything Game of Thrones from the first season that I was bullied into watching, that absolute
Bullied?
hogwash. Yes, you all would damn near not let me come back on until I watched that shit. Look, all I'm saying is that first thing was some of the sickest, most twisted,
It is.
evil backs. It makes you to say, how did society ever survive if this is how y'all were?
It's-
It was
the
gross
scene-
to
the
me
scene
when I
of
see
the-
people
they
who are
castrated him.
filthy having sex. You're taking off your filthy armor. You got this chick who's been swilling in pig swallow. Look, dude, and they're getting busy. No, dude. And then the brother sister love affair. I'm out, dude.
Yes.
I'm out
And had
forever.
kids.
I don't never
But
need
that's
another
what made the show
dragon
so
anything.
crazy. Like, I think that's like what the show came out 10 years ago, 15 years, I don't know, like a lot. It felt like a long time ago that the
Years
show
ago,
came
about.
out.
15 years ago.
It feels like an entire lifetime ago that the show came out because it was so game changing for HBO to
It
put
was.
out something like that. Everyone was talking about. Do you see what they're putting on?
I
the show?
actually went, and you remember before the last season, me and my best friend, him and we actually went around downtown LA
Oh, yeah,
to
you did.
find the
The
Sprite.
game, yes.
What?
Yes,
I
you did,
will
Liz.
I will say
To get a
this.
Sprite.
George R.R. Martin is nasty. Them Lannisters
Yes.
were with each other. The Targaryens were with each other. Dany got married off as a quote unquote. I mean, she never looked 13, but she got married off to Khal Drogo and all this other
I
stuff.
think she
And
would be-
Marital rape.
This
yeah,
one is going
Yeah.
to be 10. And then eventually, when she gets 13, is when she will be.
all
allowed
I
to
know
have sex
is
with
that
a
I-
grandpa.
I enjoyed the books. I watched the first season, and after the first season, I was like, I think I want to read the source material. And I like the source material a lot more than Lord of the Rings. I think Lord of the Rings can
I
get
like
very
Lord of the Rings.
pedantic. I don't want to hear about Tom Bombadil. I don't need 24 pages of him looking at leaves. I just don't need that in my life. And George Martin, the political intrigues were more complex. It wasn't like man against, demonic gods and other races and all this other stuff. It was like realpolitik, but played out with this, medieval or whatever ancient framework and lots of sex and fighting. And so, of course, it was going to be popular in today's culture. And I just don't know that I think I probably would have enjoyed a Game of Dragons if it were more like perhaps like a series of vignettes of backstory things, not just related to the Targaryens, not trying to make it another semi-sprawling epic. If it was like, here's Egon, and here's the guy that went to go become a Maester, and this is what happened with this one, and oh, Varys was a little page when this one came up, and da 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 da, filling in kind of some of the, or this is where Missandei came from, or this is Grey Worm's Day. I probably would have appreciated something that kind of filled in the cracks and maybe kind of destinchified those final two bullshit quasi baby fuck seasons that they did with that show.
Three. Shit.
Well, no, the fifth season you had that great Ramsay Bolton.
No, you're right. Yeah,
murder.
you're right. No, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
That was so fucking epic.
No, you're
I
right.
was there for it. I just did. It was so disappointing to see Daenerys just basically flip the. So all of a sudden, you've been the queen of the children and the oppressed, and your solution is to burn fucking King's Landing and kill hundreds of children and women. Fuck off. And so I don't need to see this series. I haven't watched the second episode yet. I do not like the asshole older or younger brother, whatever, who always plays the douchebag like we talked about last week. I don't need to see him anymore. I'm a completist, so I probably will. But this just isn't doing it for me.
Well,
I'm
when
actually
do
more
we
intrigued with Rings
fast
of
forward?
Power.
When does the
I
fast
think
forward
it's
happen?
I think it's supposed to happen after episode 4, 3. I think it's episode.
Oh, the
4.
jump.
Yeah, but I did like Lord of the Rings. I don't like Hobbit. I didn't like the Hobbit the series. It wasn't.
Oh,
it-
the
it
movie.
was-
The movie was
Yeah,
trash. The movies were trash. It didn't
But-
need to be. They stretched it and they fucked it up.
I didn't like it, but I like the series a lot. I think the series is pretty cool. And
I
I
have a
also
question.
like the elves because I like the elves. I've liked the elves, and so the notion that you've been focusing on the elves story is even more enchanting to me.
Yeah, it's very different. I mean, and again, this story, the Rings of Power is set, I believe, some 5,000 years before the adventures of the Hobbit and all that. So it's just interesting how far back they're going and freeing themselves of everything they've seen and just going into another realm within Middle Earth and being able to tell a story that has some familiar notes in it, but gives you so much backstory and allows you to introduce new characters without that befuddling of everything you've seen come forth. It's right now it's good. We've only got 2 seasons, I mean 2 episodes, so we'll see if they're able to maintain. Before I wanted to talk about DC and how they're falling the fuck apart, but before DC and them falling apart,
Can we?
they
About something important?
do the Sandman is an absolute win.
Oh,
The more you watch it, I hear you, Tom. It is one of the best DC series ever made because the more you watch it, the more you see how they're peeling the comic book apart and just the visuals, everything. But it is so damn gripping and surprising
great.
and just mind-blowingly good. And it gets progressively better and better and better. So it's just like, yes, like for a series based on an existing work of art, Sandman is
Yes.
unparalleled. My favorite will still be Watchmen, even though again, Tom was saying last week, Watchmen is its own series. It's not necessarily connected to the film or the previous book outside of referencing and making mention of it, but it was such a brilliant story. It's such an incredible
oh yeah. No,
way
it
to
was
expand on the story.
very
But,
well done.
man, Sandman, the visuals, I mean, wow, Sandman is phenomenal. And unfortunately, DC does not know how to keep a good thing going. Not that the Sandman is in any danger right now, but when you look at the overall travesty that is happening over there now, there's rumor that they are putting a question mark over something like the Blue Beetle. I don't know if you've seen Sholo Marjuena in
man.
his Blue Beetle costume, him as Jaime Reyes. You can't get better as far as casting. Everything we've seen so far is phenomenal looking, But then you've got a DC who says, you know, we're not going to do this year. We're not going to do our super hype DC fandom event because we're not even sure where the DC extended universe is going. So basically, don't get excited about anything. Don't get excited even really about Shazam because that's not even really connected to anything. You've got Yahya Abdul Mateen second coming out saying, you know, Aquaman is clown work. That's not serious acting for me. And I'm like, yo, my man, like clown work. Damn, homie, like
before the movie comes out.
He's doing a lot. He's doing a lot.
That was bold. That was like you're saying it. Damn, home. It's cold. Clown work.
Oh God.
Wow.
Yeah, he was
universe, man.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing. Why is it that every time someone says, I really love a comic book story, I'm going to remove the DC name and I'm going to go make it? Like the Nolan Batman movies or the Batman or Joker or just like all these movies that people put and say, these are supreme movies. But then anytime you put it in and you create like the Justice League or you get Wonder Woman too, it's like, why don't they all work? And sometimes they do when they're separated from the name that made them iconic in the first place. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's
Snyder.
actually a very interesting point.
Snyder, yeah.
I mean, it's Snyder. It was the whole concept of the deconstruction. So Snyder made his bones. I think most people associate his emergence with 300, right?
Yeah.
And so that was Miller, and Miller was a conventional comic book artist who then took comic books in a different direction with Sin City and with 300 and with Dark Knight Returns and the Daredevil, the iconic run on Daredevil. And he had a visually arresting artistic style, and he had a very compelling particular vision of how he looked at comic books. And they were darker and grittier and more street level. And I think in a way not in a way, in a very obvious way, that spoke to Zack Snyder. And so he said, well, Dark Knight Returns is the best Superman Batman story ever. Except it was like 50 years in the future of their relationship. They had gone through a lot of stuff to get to that point. And instead, Zack said, well, I'm just going to make this the cornerstone because it's such an iconic story. It can't be the first time they meet, though. The whole point is that it took Bruce knowing Clark over decades and seeing that Clark had transformed into this kind of proto-fascist whatever, and for him to finally take the steps he had to take in order to subdue his longtime friend. And it took the absolute abandonment of any sense of civility with the Joker gangs and all these other things to get him to the point where that became an inevitable thing. And even then, he didn't kill him. Yeah. And yet here you have Zack saying basically Batman because some Kryptonians hurt some of his employees. Yeah, I mean, it's just and that carried over into everything from the drab palette to Superman being a dick to Justice League, which was just a pastiche of bullshit and awfulness. So that's what the problem is. You don't have a Feige, and this new asshole that they have, King douchebag. Oh my God! I just don't. You don't care. You just don't care. These are super important properties that the universe of movie viewers, the universe of television viewers would respond to if you handled it appropriately. And I don't know that I think Joker is the best example of that, but because of who Joker is as a character, they were able to produce a great piece of art just isolating on him without getting into his interaction with the Batman. And I think that was fine. I don't see why we're doing a second movie. I don't see why there's Harlequin without Batman. I just don't. It just doesn't make any sense.
We're making it a musical. Why are we just?
Well, because it's Lady Gaga and she won an Oscar for Shallow.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, then she should keep doing movie musicals. Stay away from superheroes.
Look, let's talk about something important. The movie that we all want to go see.
Oh, here it is.
No.
Here it is.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Peak
Yes.
cinema, my friends.
Yes.
Oh, bother.
The first real trailer for
Yes.
that drop, I was actually shocked at how serious the movie. I didn't expect that from the trailer. I was like, you guys are really, really serious. This is not a joke. You guys are dead ass serious with this.
Mhm.
And man, I watched it all. I was like, Ryan must be in straight.
Oh,
peak
he's in
cinema
heaven.
with this
He's
trailer.
in peak cinema heaven.
I have never been so excited about a movie that's pure trash in my life.
No, you're wrong. This is actually going to be a huge hit.
It is, but it's
Huge
fucking
hit.
horrible, Mo. It's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be good. I
Yeah.
can't wait to go see this movie. It's so bad. It's like a train wreck.
Yeah,
I need Winnie the Pooh to go. Oh, bother! They take someone's fucking head off.
With a
That's what I
chainsaw?
need.
But the
Yeah.
premise is great. It's Pooh and Piglet. They've been abandoned for some 30 years.
In the
and they
100
just
Acre
fucking-
Wood.
Right, and they just go ham on everybody.
Mhm.
Pooh is
Piglet-
public domain, so they're allowed to make this movie any way they want.
The
Look,
one
I
thing
didn't know
Disney
shit.
can't control. I
That's
love
right.
this movie because Disney can't control everything, and it's the public domain, and I just love that they
Yeah.
own everything but this entity, and they're gonna burn it to the ground.
I love it. I love it.
No, things like
great.
this, when you take something that's now public domain and say we're gonna have our own fun with it, that's when you get an opportunity to get creative. When you're able to go back and say, I know the story that you all know. Like, look, we've got 2 different Pinocchio films coming out. You got Guillermo
3.
del Toro's
Why?
Pinocchio. Oh wait,
Mm.
3? There's
Yeah,
another one beyond the new Tom Hanks one.
and we don't
and
even
the
know what
Guillermo-
that
Oh.
one looks like yet. That we haven't even seen. Yeah,
Oh.
it's a train.
I feel
wreck
the
over
same way
there.
about Peter Pan. I really do not care or want to continue to keep hearing about Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and the
Yeah.
crew.
Yeah.
And
Is there
we
a
keep
remake?
getting another. We had a one a couple years ago. Peter.
They're doing another one. No, there's another one, a live action from Disney. Disney's like, no, we're
Oh.
going back. We're going
Just
to
throw
do
it
it
away.
for real.
Let me
Not
just
a
say,
story of him being older. Just yeah.
I need Tom Hanks to take a break.
I agree.
I do not know why Tom Hanks was cast as the Colonel in Elvis. I do
I don't
not
know
need to
either.
see Tom Hanks
name,
as
that's
Geppetto.
He has
I
the same
get-
voice for both.
He is
did
a name, but
Art-
I'm
But
gonna
this is
tell
my
you
point. That's
that-
it, Aaron. That is actually it. He is not Geppetto. That's an Italian name. Pinocchio, Italian. He sounds like he's doing Polar Express.
But I'm
He's
gonna tell
wise.
you though, Mo, that
He's
he was
wise.
completely upstaged in Elvis.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's too much makeup. It's like Colin Farrell in penguin makeup.
Oh my god, that was fantastic though. Halfway through the
No.
movie, I was like, oh, no.
Right. But Tom Hanks, first of all, not great with the accents. Not
fair.
great with the accents. And
no.
I actually had to stop watching Elvis because when he woke up in that bed, I didn't kill him. I said, "Oh, for fuck's sake.
Did you
I'm
get
gonna
up
go
and
make a
leave the
sandwich."
theater?
Oh, no, on video on demand.
Oh, I was like, that's ballsy to just get
Yeah.
up and
No,
walk
I
out.
wouldn't.
I think
I
I've
don't
only done that once.
No, I don't
It's a
do
good
that.
movie.
I
It's a
have
good movie.
I have
I
never and
did.
I love Baz Luhrmann. I love Baz Luhrmann. I love the visual spectacle of what he does. I think I was a little disappointed that we don't see fat, bloated, heart attack Elvis by the
You
time
do.
it's over.
What?
Oh, you do?
You do.
Yeah, he's
you
sitting.
do.
You can barely get up. Yeah.
He has
Okay,
he
good.
sings the last they show his last performance. They do such a good job though with him as Elvis that I
Austin
forgot
Butler. Yeah.
that this man was not the real, that I wasn't looking at Elvis, and I was like, oh my gosh, is he going to be in a fat suit? And so when the real Elvis shows up, I was like, oh, that's not him. This is Elvis. Like, he is so good as Elvis. And I don't like Elvis, but I was like, I'm so good. Such a good job. Give him the Oscar.
He was also.
Oh,
I would
no.
never watch that film.
Oh,
I
no,
would
no,
never
no,
watch
no,
that
Oh,
no.
I hand him the Oscar. First
No,
of all,
he-
he's Elvis. He's Elvis. You know how Elvis feels, how people feel about this.
Yeah,
that dude.
but you know
Right.
he
He
stole
looks-
from black
That film
people,
can burn
and
in hell.
he's
That-
a pedophile.
That's it. Both of those things. Both of them. And
Elvis.
when I saw, and I don't know how it came on my Facebook feed, But when I saw the black man who Elvis copied his
Oh, yeah.
his entire vocal style from, I was like, fuck this dude. And then
Yeah.
he stole the hip thing from a black woman, and Hound Dog he stole from a black
I
woman.
thought he
Big
stole
Mama Thornton.
I
Yeah,
thought
Big
he
Mama
stole it
Thornton.
from Forrest Gump. Didn't
Oh
he?
my god. Oh my god.
I knew that
Okay.
wasn't gonna be sincere.
He stole it from Winnie the Pooh, you fucker. I actually
Oh,
thought
father.
that was a troll. I was like, if this were a real film, we would see a real trailer. And now they've dropped the trailer, and so I guess I have to believe that it's a real film. But I really thought the Pooh mask looked so horrible. The piglet face looked so crazy. I was like, this is just
That's
bullshit.
the beauty of it.
No, I
real.
get it. No, I get it, but it's absolutely real, and so there it is. But
This is gonna be like Evil Dead. This is gonna be such a cult movie.
Right.
that
Oh, for
people
sure.
are gonna be remaking. It's gonna be like Rocky Horror. People are gonna throw things. It's gonna be an event every year. Like I'm so happy for these people, and I'm terrified for next Halloween.
the seats are going to be
going
so
down this
sticky.
Halloween. It's going down. Halloween, it's going to be
Like the
real.
map.
Blood and honey, bro.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
The
yeah.
seats are going to be sticky.
Where are
Got
you,
it.
Ryan? Goodness.
I just said what?
I don't believe I had to spoon feed that to you.
Oh man.
I don't want anything you feed me.
Outside of all this fantastic nerdiness discussed this evening, what else are you watching, Tom?
What am? I'm finishing Upload, and because I had started it and I got interrupted. And what is this other thing that just came out that I'm trying to finish? I can't even recall it right now, but I am doing that. I did finish Discovery, so I'm just there's a couple of things I still need to finish Westworld, frankly. So I got distracted.
Oh,
I do.
man.
I know.
Okay.
But I'm gonna do it. MP Valley, because of course.
All right. What about you, Mo?
Tales of the Walking Dead. I'm really enjoying that with Terry Crews, Olivia Munn. It's a different type of Walking Dead show because you get to see people, doomsday preppers, and how they're dealing with the folks who saw the apocalypse coming and were right, and how they plan for it, and how they're. It's a different take on everything. I'm enjoying that. BattleBots is back. That's one of my favorite shows on Discovery. I watch it every week. So that's it for me.
All right. Ryan, outside of the excitement of who, Blood and Honey, what has got your time occupied?
Sandman. I need to finish that. I just finished episode 5. The scene with the diner.
Oh yeah.
I've never seen like an episode of a show where I'm like, this is just gonna be some filler bullshit. And at the end of the episode, I was like, oh my god, shit. And I need to also get on Jack Reacher. I need to watch that show.
Oh yes.
Oh, Jack Reacher was much better than I expected it to be.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was clear cornfed white boy fantasy, but
Look, I was with it from beginning to end, and saving the best for last. Aaron, what is actually taking over your television and theatrical time?
Something that can't leave my brain is not actually like a fandom, but it's Nathan Fielder's new show, The Rehearsal.
oh, The Rehearsal.
I lie awake at night trying to break that down because it is truly, I've never seen anything like it on television. It is.
Wait, do tell. What is
bonkers.
The Rehearsal?
So Nathan Fielder is like a sociopath comedian who
That's very accurate.
he creates this. He has it's his second show. His first show is Nathan For You, which came out years ago. But this show is basically he is helping everyday people prepare for big life moments before they actually happen. And he creates these large, extravagant replica sets with HBO Max's money, and they practice. And one of the main story moments this season is this woman wants to practice like what raising a child from infant to 18 years old is like. And they live in this house in Oregon, and they have these child actors pretending to be kids. Like it's bonkers. It's wild.
Yeah,
Wow.
I have to agree. The first episode is this black trivia guy who has been lying to his trivia team, saying that he has a master's, and it's been eating at his soul the entire time. This guy rebuilds the entire bar that he plays trivia in a soundstage. It's like Synecdoche, New York.
Yes, it's exactly like that.
I mean, it is, and it is so. Like, Nathan is uncomfortable and this black guy is super uncomfortable, and to Aaron's point about that episode, this woman is out of her mind. It is so like creepy in some ways, and it's like it's like cringy, but you can't not watch it, and it's an astonishing piece of television.
And also, it's crazy because it's kind of like, okay, let's put him as Stan Lee, right? Like, okay, he is the creator of this world, but then what happens if Stan Lee becomes a character in this world and he can't differentiate when he is the creator and when he is a character? This happens to Nathan Fielder, and we don't know when he is aware of it and when he is totally immersed in it. And he does not let us know. He'll never let us know. He'll never tell us. And now there's a second season.
Oh my God, I don't know if I can do it. I don't even know. It's crazy.
Before we get out of here, Aaron, I want you to tell us and our viewers and listeners a little more about the Bagel Report.
The Bagel Report is a podcast kind of like this. It's about 45 to an hour-ish. Every week, my friend Esther and I, we pick apart the best and the worst Jewish pop culture and entertainment moments.
That's
and
amazing.
Sometimes it's really stereotypical and sometimes it's really authentic. And we like to share with people our take on that.
And where can everyone find it?
You can find it anywhere podcasts are listened to at the Bagel Report. Or TBR the Pod.
I love it. Mo was absolutely right when he said you would be able to hang with us and handle your own. I really appreciate your contribution this evening.
Wait.
This
She
is
was wrong.
not the last time.
She was
said
wrong.
No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't.
About Theo.
No, she
Let's be
wasn't.
clear. She was
No,
wrong.
she was not. No.
We appreciate her contribution, but she was wrong about She-Hulk.
I think your opinion. I think that totally shocked the room. I think
It didn't shock me. It didn't shock me. I loved it. Give me more of that.
You said people. You said people.
It is all good. We don't have Anthony with us this evening, and looks like Dr. Liz has dropped out. So at the end of every show, we have our call sign, how we want to sign off. And to give you an example of this, I will let Ryan McBain set it off and take us out of here. McBain.
There ain't nothing wrong with pigtails.
I'm nasty. Oh my God. Mo Kelly.
Multipass.
Tom is talking Cunningham.
Where is my Jin Kazama suit?
Yes. And now you know how we do it, Aaron. Is there anything you would like to leave our viewers and listeners with?
Well, to quote the real Winnie the Pooh, you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think.
Damn it, she came to play. Excelsior! Yes.